go ahead and get started. Everybody here, I hope, is 186. I think the title now is Computer Graphics. It will be illustrated. Okay. And everyone knows that this is a hybrid class, which I'll talk about more in a minute. Because I'm pretty sure I need to explain that to everybody to make sure that some people will be here and maybe not. On a note, just out of curiosity, for the first time this year, I sent out emails to a lot of people. How many of you received this? I'm curious. Did this influence? So effective. Really, the rest of you, are you the rest of you new to college? No? And you didn't, have you taken an art class before? And you didn't? Okay, that's all right. Informal, just trying to advertise the class. I'm surprised that there's so many people. I'm guessing that everybody signed up, but you know, classes go through ebbs and flows and more or less year to year. Okay, so this is everybody. My name is Kirk Miller, and I'll be teaching the class this summer. Let me start by talking about hybrid. I need to know how many of you are going to be here for the most part during this semester. You have the option of working at home. You only need to be here 3 times during the semester. You need to be here today, which you are. You need to be here midterm, and at that time I will review your work, which will mean exercises and assignments that will be available to you on the web. We'll talk about that more in a little bit. And then you need to be here the last day of class, where we'll do a final critique and review of your work. And that's it. So there was just sort of a sprinkling of a few people that couldn't come here. So I'm presuming the rest of you are going to work at home. Is that correct? How many people are going to work at home? A lot of people. Okay, well that will work. Then what we need to do, I need to make sure that you understand what you need for the class and how we communicate, and that's going to be really, really important. I have a website that I think is pretty complete. It's thorough, but that will be how we communicate. Almost on a daily basis, since it's the summer class, I will post what I think you should be working on, and you need to pay attention to that so you'll know, okay, I'm caught up to this point, or this is the assignment that we're starting. So you're not obligated to be on a particular exercise on the day that I'm lecturing, but it will give you a pretty good idea of where you need to be. Does that make sense? So that you don't fall behind. Because the tendency is when you're working at home, we all do it. We have good intentions, you know, and then things happen. Daughter gets sick, or gotta take the daughter to bed, or I don't know, work gets in the way, and then just before you know it, things you get behind. And that's okay if things happen, as long as we can communicate we're in good shape. So what I need to do from all of you is, at least for today, you know how to log into the computer, and I want everybody to email me, and I'm going to give you my email address. And it's just hello, and my name is whatever your name is. Make sure that it's your complete name, maybe your student number, and under the subject heading it has to do with Art 186. Because we all have strange usernames, at least I know I do. I have Kmark66, that's kind of strange. And you wouldn't know necessarily that it's Kirk Miller unless I told you. So oftentimes I'll get emails from students and I don't know who they're from because they don't properly identify themselves. So that will be one of the first things that we need to do today. So to be able to boot up the computer, there's a little button on the front of the computer, and that will boot the computer. Make sure that the monitor is turned on. It's the lower button to the right. And you'll be prompted to put in a username and a password. So since most of you are too new to Cerritos, it's been pretty much the same for a long time. That the username is student, that's all lowercase, and the password is media, all lowercase, MEDIA. So anytime you want to come in and work in the labs, then that's what you'll be able to do. So you know, even if you're going to be working at home, you have access to come in to the labs, work on the computer here, and burn CDs, print your work, do what you need to do. Okay. So I treat this in many respects as a regular class. So every day I will lecture, and I will give new information, and as you can tell, I'm recording it now. I'm hopeful, since we have recently signed up to iTunes U, that some of my lectures will be available. How quickly that happens, I don't know. Some important lectures I think are available already. For example, I do have a lecture on typography, so when we get to that exercise, it will give you some background information about typography if you've never had any experience using type as a design tool. Okay. I think my website is pretty complete, but I can certainly use some more stuff. Okay. So, everybody logged in okay? No? It's not working? Username is student. Password is media, M-E-D-I-A. And then, if you can, there should be in the bottom menu bar a Safari browser, Firefox. Open that up, and then if you can email from here while we're talking today, that would be great. Okay, I will require it so we can communicate. There's another thing that we're going to do shortly too that I want to make sure that we're able to communicate. Okay. Before I turn off the lights, oh, I'm sorry. It's there's two, and I'm going to encourage you to always email me to both. My official school email address is kmiller@cerritos.edu. Oftentimes, when you send me projects and they're attached, the files are attached, for whatever reason, the school recognizes them as junk mail, and so sometimes I don't receive them. So, second email address is my personal email address with Earthlink, and so that's Kmart66. That is Kmart in the store, or the store 66 at earthlink.net. So, K Miller at cerritos.edu. And as I said, this can be kind of flaky. So if you use this exclusively, don't assume that I received the email. The other is Kmart66 at earthlink.net, not .com, but .net. Okay. So you just came in. I need everybody to email me today. If you don't do it here, at least do it tonight at home. And identify yourself. In the subject, put part 186, and then below my name is whatever your name is. This is my student ID. You know, and I'm in your class, and this is our first recognition. So I can put together a little email list for everybody, so that when I send out, and I can make sure that it's kind of a mass email to everybody. Because even though I have access to everyone's email from Rosters Plus or whatever it is, sometimes the emails that you guys put in are old or they're no longer in use. So there's always a handful of students that I just don't seem to be able to reach. So that's, I want to try to make sure that everybody has success in the class, and that's kind of important to communicate, especially if you're working at home. So, before we turn off the lights, the tools that you'll need, we use Adobe Illustrator CS3, which is the most recent version of Illustrator. If you have CS2 at home, or even CS, you know, that will work, but you are going to be missing some really nifty tools that have been added, especially in CS3.
Does it matter if you have it for PC or Mac?
Okay, I gotta say another thing. And this has nothing to do with you. It's me. I'm deaf in my left ear. Totally deaf. And it sounds minor, but I cannot. Oftentimes I can't do it. You got to speak up. And I will say, you repeat that, and you're going to get tired of that. You know, would you please repeat that, and it has nothing to do with you. If there's the slightest bit of noise, I can't hear. Especially if you're on this side. You can be sitting right next to me, especially in a restaurant, and you'll be talking away. Don't hear this noise. So I will repeat that again. And my son recommended that I put something on here and say out of service. Maybe I'll do that as a reminder to everybody that it's this here. Because even my wife, she'll walk on this side. I can't remember what side it is. And she'll be talking away and she'll get pissed. Anyway, that's that. I'm sorry, go ahead, I interrupted.
Does it matter if you have a PC or a Mac?
No, does not matter at all. The files these days are pretty universal, especially if you choose to work here. You work here and you can save them and you can go home and open them up and they should work just fine, and vice versa, they should work pretty well. There are some really nifty tools that have been added to CS3. Now, for those of you who don't have the program yet, but you're going to buy it, when I turn out the lights and we go to my website and that sort of thing, I will show you where you can get a really good deal on Adobe software. Okay? And you purchased it, and it's worked out okay for you guys? Okay. Were you able to actually download it again?
Twice.
Oh, okay.
Really, it's
So-
a steal. It's the best deal you could ever get
Yeah.
for Photoshop, Illustrator, Dreamweaver, Flash, everything.
Yeah, it's
One package.
it's a one package. You don't have to buy the one package, but because of the bundle price, it really makes sense to buy it that way. There isn't really much that you need. You need software. If you're going to work at home. If you're going to work here, it's a non-issue. This is the textbook that we work from. I'm working on, in the fall, maybe using a different one, but it's a good one. There's one that I put on the website that was for CS2 that would work too, but this one I think is to make it easy on you. So if you can purchase this anyway, if you want to go to the bookstore, you can pay list price. If you want to purchase from Amazon.com, or you want to go to your local Borders Books and Music, or Barnes and Noble, or Costco, yeah.
Costco.
What, for $25, $29? And these list for $55. It's a big difference. So even with Amazon, if you pay for shipping, it's a better deal. And they don't like us saying that, but because they're in there, they're there for it to make a profit. But you know, you guys are pretty savvy as to where to get the best deal. So if everybody has this, I'll write this down so that you know. It's can be found almost everywhere. Makes a nice black mark. Let's see. Okie doke. So it's Adobe Illustrator. Tell me if you can't see this. CS3. And then the subtitle is Classroom and Book. I believe it's distributed by Peach Pit Press, but it says on the side Adobe Press. So it is Adobe Press. But Peach Pit Press, I believe, distributes it. Let me put the ISBN number somewhere. Anybody know which one is important? Because there's two ISBN numbers here. It's ISBN -13:. There's also ISBN -10. Anybody know? Doesn't matter. I'll presume it's the first one, if that's the one. It is the first. So, ISBN number.
And for the ISBN 10, whatever that is, it's just this number here.
I think that's important.
What's that?
I think that's the important.
Yeah. It's important that you have the book because it comes with a CD, and the CD has exercises in it. So this is kind of like the cookbook part of the class, where they have, here are the basic elements that you need to make an illustration, and then we talk about specific tools in an exercise, and then they also have the, if you're watching the Stewart, and they pull out the cake at the very end, or whatever it is, they say, and this is what it's supposed to look like when it's all done. So they have both versions, so it's really useful, because you really need these files in order to be able to work. And they can work, as I say, with both on PC or Mac. Doesn't make any difference. Okay? Now, for those of you who are going to be working here, and it would also be helpful for those of you who are not working here, to have a thumb drive, a flash drive, whatever it is. Is there anybody who doesn't know what one of those is? Okay. Bigger one you can afford, that's all you need in order to transport files back and forth. Some of the files that you'll be sending me or bringing to me will be fairly large. So to email them oftentimes won't work. It'll just be too big. We have, if you want to archive your work here, all of these computers are equipped with CD and DVD burners, and the $10 that you pay for your lab fees goes towards blank CDs, DVDs, and paper and ink for the printer. So even if you're working at home, come in and print your work. You have access to the printer. And we have, well, 2 of the printers are out. It just happened at the end of last semester. Things fell apart. But we have one really great printer that will work, do some wonderful kind of prints of your work, so that you can have both archived, copies of your work and prints. And I typically allow all of you to print as much as you want, and within reason. I don't want you coming in and if you have a garage sale and you plan on printing out 100 of them, that's not okay. But if it's a handful, if you want a few, that's okay. So that's, as far as supplies are concerned, that's all you need. So how we communicate. So let me go ahead and get the projector going. Any questions so far?
Are we going to need the internet today? Because these don't have it.
Really? You're not connected?
They don't work. Well, Firefox doesn't. And Safari's not allowed.
It's not allowed?
Safari's not allowed and Firefox doesn't work.
Okay.
Unable to
Maybe things are, well, that's an indication that things are out.
Mine's working.
It's not working, right?
No, it's working. Mine's working.
Okay. Just as I say, if you email me from home, that'll be
Okay.
fine. But just remember to do it, I need to get them all.
Okay.
I'm tempted to grade these, so silly as that sounds, just to make sure that I get them
Is there any more with the computers, or is everyone
all. Well,
enrolled?
not everybody is enrolled, there's only one person, but most of the people are gonna work at home after today. Today's just an introductory day. And actually, I'm gonna break this up into 2 parts this morning. And after my introductory lecture, if people wanna go home and work, you're welcome to. And then, but I will start the grand tour, as I say, kind of an overview of Illustrator and give what I consider my first real lecture afterwards, and then they free up. But there's a computer back there that will work. Now, you're not facing towards me, but it works if you don't mind sitting there, if more people stay.
Will these work?
And then there's that one works, and that computer works. They should both work. They have, now that one's kind of weird, but you have that one and that one. So we are set up. As I explained when I first got here, our projectors, along with the printers, failed at the end of last semester. So they're on order, so this is kind of very right now. Since some of the computers are not connected to the internet, I want to ask you to share with people next to you and take notes. Where you need to go now is open up Safari or Firefox and type in kmart66.com. There we go. Oh, whichever. Oh, I forgot to mention, aside from computers and printers and CD burners and that sort of thing, we also have scanners. So if you want to scan your, some of you know, some of your original drawings to use as templates. Or if you're working with photographs and you want to use them as an initial source. And it's in printed format, or if it's from a slide, we can scan them here if you don't have the scanner. Okay, where kmart66.com takes you is my blog. It's been over 2.5 months since I've written anything, but I will typically, when I'm on a roll during the semester, every week, at least one time a week, I will post an article that I think might be of interest to you, and some are really pertinent for the class, and some are just for your general interest. Okay? If you want to find out anything about me, if you want to know why I use Kmart, if you want to go to my personal website, if you're curious to see what kind of artwork I have, these first 5 links will take you there. If you want to email me, you can do that from here as well. There are 2 links that would be really, really important for this class though. The first one is Kirk's classes. And the second one is the bulletin board, This Week in Class. So let's look at this week in class first, and then we'll go to Kirk's classes. If I click this week in class, you'll see that this is what I had for my last week.
I have this parental control message through it. What I would say that.
I can fix that. It's Rita's. But she went for it.
You get on? No, he couldn't either.
You're getting a certain.
You get it.
Okay. It's gonna go to each.
First page of the section.
Does that happen with anyone else? Same thing?
It's from last year.
Okay, just watch. You won't have this current. I'm not sure what happened in last week, this week. Anyway, this week in class, very important, because during the semester, every week, on a Sunday night, I will post what we're doing this week. So since during the summer it's compressed, and we're basically doing 6 weeks, what we normally do in 18, then I will do it more frequently. So I encourage you to look every day, every other day, and see what I have posted. So I'll probably eliminate all of this and just have our 186, and maybe put a little bit more detail that we're working on. And we'll find out if I get parental restrictions. So let me go back on. What I would like all of you to do and I hope that this will work, is that if you subscribe as a reader, or you enter your email address and subscribe, then when I make changes or when I post articles, you should receive notification automatically, then you don't need to move. So I want to require that of everybody. If you can do it now and see if you get it. But obviously, if you're not getting, if you can go back, since you guys are getting this, if you can try to get back. That's all right. No, it's not you, it's things, this happened, and I have no explanation, other than they were working with the computers, the computer services, and they make changes, and you don't always realize what you're doing.
Did that
So
work?
you just put in your email address there, and hopefully it works. So what I would like to do in a week is, I'm going to put kind of an Easter egg in there. Class. Does everybody know what an Easter egg is? It's going to be a little surprise. If you make sure that you're checking, it will tell you to email me something. And it will be great. It might be just something like, I don't know, what's the color of your car or something like that. You know, nothing special. Just so that I know that you're checking and you're on top of it. Okay, well, we sort of getting there. Sorry for the mishaps with the browsers. So that's, you know, email to be in touch with each other by email is important. To have access to my website so that you can go to This Week in Class and see what we're working on is important. Because I do go at a quicker pace through this. The syllabus will be available too. It's an 18-week syllabus, so it's easy to figure out. You know, what I have in 3 weeks, we're going to do in 1. It's pretty straightforward. And it's very doable, I think. Where you'll need to go for that, though, is Kirk's classes. So this takes you to actually an auxiliary, an auxiliary's website. There's actually 3 websites here. There's a blog, there's my personal website when you go home, and when you go to Kirk's classes, that takes you to another website. Now I won't be able to get there. If you really need to get in touch with me, email is the best way. My phone, my office is adjacent to this room, it's right over there, and I rarely check messages because I'm here at the computer, and if I'm not here at the computer, I'm home at the computer, so it's much easier to be in contact with everybody. This is my welcome page, and then we'll go to handouts. And before I show you the syllabus, and we talk about the rules for the classroom, if you're going to work here, I want to talk about if you want to buy the software, place to go. Okay. So typically from my website or my web class, I'll have websites that are useful for inspiration, tools like Flash Kitten, Firefox add-ons, and things like that. Just check for my web class. And if you need help, you can go here for Adobe help. I'll talk about lynda.com a little bit too. That's a very useful website. You have $25 a month to spend. If you don't, which most people don't, that's okay. The textbook is more than adequate. But if you want to buy the software, the place to go, I have 3 listed. You can go to Creation Engine, which is a company that sells to educational institutions, students, and faculty. And there's also Journey Ed, they're very similar. But really the best place to go is the middle one, US College by Electronic. And when you click on that, it's kind of slow. When you click on that, nothing happens. It should come up with sure. When I click on Adobe, and there's other software that you can purchase as well. You do need to, you do need to prove that you're a student. You generally have to attach a copy of your student ID or some sort of proof. Here, let's try this one here. I'm having trouble now. This is it. CS3 Premium Suite for Windows or for Mac, $314. Now, if you want to know what that includes, it's pretty much all of the software. It includes both versions of Photoshop, Illustrator, Dreamweaver, Flash, Acrobat,
Design,
InDesign,
fireworks,
Fireworks.
and a couple more.
Yeah.
Yeah, Adobe 8 or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. So it's a lot. I mean, $314 may be a lot, but what you're getting, if you plan on doing more with computer graphics, is a great way to go. This would be the place to go.
How much is it if somebody just wants Illustrator?
This one.
Scroll down and see how much it is just for Illustrator, if somebody wanted it by itself.
It's probably close to, well, you can see that Dreamweaver is 111, Flash is 131. Photoshop, that's the right one.
Well, it's regularly $1,000, over $1,000 in the
Yeah.
store.
Oh, yeah. No, it's a huge, huge
Definitely.
deal. So why don't I see? Am I just not looking?
I didn't see any.
Let's see.
I think I like it.
Lightroom is sort of Photoshop like. No, it's actually.
What is it?
No, I'm not sure. what it is. I think it's in one of the newer programs, and it's sort of like a dark room. So it's,
Black and white only?
no. This is Photoshop secretary. Let's see this one. I'm sure they have it here. Maybe they don't.
Photoshop.
They do. Sometimes they change these things. Well, for example, Adobe Photoshop Extended is $179. It's over the half the price of what they're charging for all that bundle of 7 software packages. It is a very good deal. So that's what I would do. Okay, So if you forget, just go to the website and click on uscollegepad.com. And then it is click here, Adobe Student License Program, you click here, and that will take you to the pricing of Adobe software.
Well, I need to drink deeper. Not gonna
Now, obviously, if you're working here, it's a non-issue, but if you're working at home and you haven't purchased the software yet, that's a good deal. Let's move on to grading and syllabi, and then the assignments for the class. All of these are available as PDF files. So I'm going to start with classroom procedures, and that applies to both if you're working here, but also my grading system. And then we can grab the syllabus from here. Now, if you're using Firefox, sometimes it's going to ask you, how do you want to download this stuff? Just like it is here. Open the stuff standard. Okay, so I'll do that. Always allow. At home, you will not have half of these problems. What did I see? I need to put in the administrator. I have a current open for it.
Who's in charge?
Not me. So it should be able to be downloaded as a PDF file. There we go. And then it should look like this. Let's double check. Acrobat Reader is available from Adobe if you do not have it. Two-page policy. So for those of you working at home, some of this isn't going to be an issue. In here I break the rules. I don't smoke in class, but I do eat and I do drink in class. The only rule that I have for drinking liquids in the class is that it have a lid. So if you come to class and you want to bring your coffee in or your water or something. We don't have much in the way of materials here. Because you bring your textbook, you bring your flash drive. It's important whether you're working here or at home to pace yourself. And so by looking at this weekly class, you'll be able to tell where you should be. I would not get too far ahead, then you tend to get bored. If you get too far behind, then you get overwhelmed, and it's like I can't catch up. So try to pace yourself. Parties here are, I put this in here, but it is a big deal and it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal in that I do not mark off for absences and tardies anymore. I used to do that. It was suggested that I do that, and that was just a big mistake. But where it does affect you is that if you do rely on my lectures to learn the software, then I start at probably 10 after, 10 after. And if you roll in at 10 o'clock, you missed most of it, then I don't repeat it. Okay, so that's where it will affect you. And that does affect a lot of people. And then they, unfortunately, as time passes, you get farther and farther behind and you I will check on it for the 6th week, but for those of you who are here, since it is a hybrid, you need to be in contact with me, because if you're not here, I'm assuming that you're working at home. But if there is a point in time where you feel that, it's just not working out, your summer schedule has changed, and it's not what you would hope, then just let me know. And if you want me to drop you, I will, so that you get a W instead of a grade at the end of the semester, then that's okay. When we're here, I try to make the class almost a seminar kind of an environment. I will lecture, But then after that, there was a lot of time, and during lecture, there's time for questions and answers. So if there's things that you want to know about that maybe I haven't covered in lecture, I'm more than willing to talk about them. I have a lynda.com account that we'll go over in a bit, that I show videos from per series of lectures on Illustrator. And there's things that are more advanced that we don't have time to cover, but sometimes it's worthwhile watching those so that you get full breadth of what's possible with Illustrator, because it is a very powerful program. In class, the only rule I have regarding phones, I better check my hand phone, sure, is that you put it on vibrate so that if you have to take a call, you just get up and leave. And when you're done, you come back. You don't have to listen to everybody's wonderful ringtone. And I know there's some pretty neat ones. It can be annoying. And this also applies, number 8, when you're home, you're here. If you're having difficulties with something, you communicate with me. If we can do it by email, that's great. If not, then I might suggest if you can, let's schedule a time when you can come in and we'll go over some things that maybe you're not understanding from the textbook or about the assignment. Number 9 isn't so important because we don't have much to clean up, but if you do eat in class, be sure to throw out your phone. This isn't an issue either in here, and neither is a lot. So that's it. Let's jump to 3. That's really the only part that's really important. I use a point system for my grading. We do approximately 13 exercises in this book. These exercises, after I've looked at them, I check them off. And in total, when I see that they are all completed, you get 10 points. So that means that's equivalent of an A for one project. In addition to that, I'll probably do at least 3 other projects that I'll talk about shortly. Or in addition to the exercises, they're like tests, although it's not a written test, it's not multiple choice, it's not essay. It's putting to use the tools that you've learned in Illustrator in the form of an illustration or a painting or a drawing or something that's done digitally with Adobe Illustrator. So I've used this 10-point system. It seems to be pretty straightforward. So if you were to get 6 out of 10, it's not the end of the world. That's not a D, it's a B. It's still a strong grade. So if you take those 3 assignments that we have, plus the exercises, and you average them together, that's your grade. And you know at all times, if you are current with your exercises, you got an A on it. And because it's a shortened, really abbreviated schedule during the summer, then when you turn them in, I try to get them back to you as quickly as I can. Typically, it will happen on the weekend, I'll grade them, and then I get them back to you. For those of you working at home, what you may want to do is gang them up and come in at midterm. And then we sit, you open up your exercises, I check them off. And at that time, you will turn in your projects, whatever is due at that point. And then I will get them out. The way I would like them turned in is that you print them out. So you may have to spend one day, in midterm, or you can print them at home. And then, so that I get a print, and I get a copy of the file on CD, and you just put those in a manila envelope. And we have some extra manila envelopes next door if you don't have that. And you just put your name on everything, and hand it in. So. Pretty straightforward. Is there anybody who has not used Acrobat Reader before and downloaded PDF files? Because if you do have problems with that at home, I need to know. 'Cause that's how all of these are done. So for example, here's the syllabus. I think this is a Cerritos problem.
I get it.
Don't you get it at home?
I get it here.
Oh. Let's try again.
The students who do your networking?
What's that?
The students who do your networking? Or-
No? Oh, they're paying. Oh, wait, maybe this is my problem. This is my document. Oh, man, what a problem. That's an issue. Let me try the other. Let me try Illustrator and Cinemax. Might have a problem.
Bill, did you get all this?
Yeah.
The
You're able to get it?
syllabus and
Then
the...
maybe it's not my issue.
I'm going through Safari. I don't think there's a big difference.
Well, it's,
I can't get on it on Safari. Or either
there you
one.
go.
Can't get it. I'm hogging it up.
Yeah.
There's only one on at a time. Yes, right. And I'm staying on it, man.
Let me ask Chris real quick. He's got any problems. Is this? You got it. Okay. Fine. Well, it's working over there, but he said it's slow. Could be. Okay, let's take a different tack. And this may have to come back to it. I don't know.
Once you get back, you can't come back.
Okay, we quit. We restart the computer. That little sheet, make its way around. Really slow.
Yeah, mine's working.
really, really slow. Really, 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 really slow. Okay, we'll try to, once again, do syllabus. So this is the outline of the syllabus. We know that it is written for an 18-week term. So this, we cover in 1 week what we normally cover in 3 weeks. So, in this week, I'll give everyone a tour. We'll cover selection basics and basic shapes. And by the end of class, this Thursday, we should be up to exercise 4 and starting the first assignment, which will be a deep swim. You know, where do you find, I mean, exercises 2 and 3 are in the book. So here. Scanning basics, I do have a handout online in the, if you're interested. And it's not necessarily that intuitive. I'm going to let it go. But I want to pause that, I'll probably won't get it. So let me get going. Let's go to Photoshop, because typically scanning is more important than Photoshop. So I have a PDF file on scanning. And another one on type basics, which will cover later this semester. So I'm jumping around here. Okay. Let me switch to our assignments. So I said, within this week, we're going to start the first assignment. We have completed 4 exercises, and we will start at the first assignment. So the first assignment will be found in this tab here. And you'll see assignment 1, each swim. And I may change these. In fact, I'm almost certain I will. We will do the math assignment. And in the product piece, I'm going to switch. We'll talk about that later. But I think it will, for those of you who are younger, it will be fun. So to download this is the only one that is not a PDF file. This is an old, it's an Illustrator file. I think this goes back to the last time I saved it was CS. So we'll go ahead and open it. should be able to open Illustrator. Once it's downloaded, you should be able to open it. I don't know why. It looks like it's downloaded.
Not a Dell Illustrator, it's a desktop.
Huh? Oh, that could be. Maybe it has a- Oh, there we go. Wow, yeah, of course. Okay, I'll just put it in here. Open. Put it in a place I don't normally see.